All right, how's it going? I'm going to welcome with me today. Well, you've got the name on the screen there, Rasta
Yeah.
Monk.
Well go on. Give thanks and
Yeah,
praise.
yeah, I'm all right. How are you, man? You all right?
I'm very well, my brother. Very well. Very well. Thank you for having me here.
Right. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you coming on. It's lovely to meet you. I've only seen your videos and clips and pictures with your leg in the air doing boot and all that on Instagram. So yeah,
Give
it's
thanks.
brilliant to meet you, and thanks a lot for agreeing to come on. I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Respect to that still.
Right. Listen, I like starting things right from the beginning. But before I do, why don't you tell me, give me your sort of, I don't need your biography yet, but I just kind of want to know what do you do? So, martial arts, choreographer. Give me a list of a few things that you would say embodies what you do.
Well, so first of all, I run my own martial arts school in South London and North London. Um, I've been doing martial arts for a while still, mainly Kung Fu. I also, with that, I have a passion for stunts. So doing like, martial arts and stunts, it kind of gel together because of the Hong Kong style action. I also choreograph, um, and in the process of making my own film, my own action film, with the traditions or the culture of Jamaica, Africa, and the South London, which is the company that
Okay.
I have, which is called South London Action, and there's a meaning to that. So yeah, so everything to do with martial arts, I'm there. Even close protection, CPing, security, I've done it all when it comes to like anything to do with martial arts, protecting and helping people. That's my passion.
Well, brilliant. I mean, so you're a martial artist, a filmmaker, a
Yeah.
teacher. There's
Yes.
you definitely got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I've seen
Yes.
loads of stuff going on.
Thank you.
Let's get to your growing up. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in South London? Is that
Yes.
what the
So I
whole
grew up in
connection
East
is?
Dulwich, East Dulwich, South London. But majority of my time in South, I was brought up in Brixton because from young I was playing cricket. So my parents are the Windrush generation, so
Okay.
they came in the 1960s, mid to late 60s, and they were very strict parents, and so a majority of the time I was brought up in in Brixton, even though I lived in Dulwich, but I did a lot of stuff in Brixton, cricket in Brixton. I had my friends in Brixton, so it was a big thing, being in South London, and the Caribbean heritage. It was Brixton was the place. So that's where, yeah, that's where I literally grew up. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't too far from Brixton myself.
Oh, nice, nice. Where are you
So
from?
yeah, I grew up in southeast London in Bermondsey,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and so yeah, so Deptford was down the road. Peckham, Deptford,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Brixton,
yeah.
all those places are, they surrounded. So I grew up in the same areas. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. My school was in Peckham, which was interesting. So at the time of
yeah,
when I was young, Peckham and Brixton used to have a lot of beef and a lot of like problems. So I had friends in Peckham and I had friends in Brixton, but some of the guys in Peckham knew the other guys in Brixton. So I was pretty cool. I was pretty safe in both sides. Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah. You sort of had something between the two things, but that's good. That was good because that's you starting out your, I suppose, your personality of being
Yes.
able to look what you've done with it now, teaching and stuff like that. So you had
Yes.
those
Yes.
skills, and your parents, obviously, this discipline that you talk about. I mean,
Hmm.
look how you've turned out, right? So I'm guessing that
Yeah.
you respect that discipline now,
Yeah.
yeah. Whether maybe you
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
like it at the time, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gave you a
For
good
sure.
upbringing.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. It wasn't easy.
no,
Because like I said, my brothers and sisters they're not my age group. They're way older. So, my eldest brother is in his late 50s. My other brother's in his early 50s. So that time was was very interesting. And my sister as well. They were way older than me. But because of that, that's how I learnt martial arts, because they were of that generation that they would watch kung fu movies. They would watch, you know, Snake and Eagle Shadow, you know, Drunken Master. I was brought up on those kind of martial arts films. So that wasn't a coincidence. It's because of my brothers, and now my brother, my second oldest, Carlos, he used to buy Black Belt magazine every month. So I used to just basically, as a youngster, I would go into his room and I would just look at the magazines of martial
Mm.
arts and then watch the martial arts films with him. And he's a perfectionist, so he would like rewind the movies over and over again, like a particular scene. And then from there, I would pick that up, and then I would be like, okay, I want to do that, and then I would try to copy it, and then do that, because I wasn't really allowed out. So the only thing I could do is actually just watch a martial arts film and then try to copy the moves that I see.
Well, look, it turns out, right, that sometimes these things that seemed, I don't know, restricting or whatever, I don't know, punishments, or you're a youngster, so you wanted to go out, but it turns out you were stuck watching kung fu films, but it
100%.
got you. You just didn't know it at the time, but it got you on your path to where you are now. So it's quite
Yeah.
interesting, really, that these things they well they do they form who you are, and
Hmm.
that is actually what it's done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's an interesting journey, and but I see that because of that feeling, or because I could do that, I'm very much ahead of a lot of people when it comes to martial arts action and stunts, because of how my upbringing was, because it was from a
Mm.
younger age. So I was watching it from a younger age. It's only till now I've appreciated it, and then saying that, having my own team, I can like literally word for word or copy or do my own style within that. It kind of makes it a lot easier. But it's because of that I could watch a film and I can rewind it back and do steps. On DVD you can step it like frame by frame. I used to do all of that all the time, spend hours, on the DVDs and doing all of that. You can, yeah, that was me all day, every day.
You see now that leads me on to something that makes me realize that I'm obviously a bit older than you because
Mm-mm.
I was VHS, I was videos,
Yeah,
and
same,
not
same, same.
you still had videos, yeah, because of
Yeah,
your older siblings, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So my sister, she's a avid martial arts fan. So there was a point where any like martial arts film that would come on, she would tape it. She would get the spare, the 3 hour VHS tapes, and then she
Yep.
would tape them on. There was a point I remember a few years ago, about 98, 99. There was a like Jet Li season on BBC, and there was like about a whole 10 weeks worth of different Jet Li films. I taped them all.
Mm.
My sister
Yep.
did anyway, and we still have them now. You know.
Brilliant. Yeah. That's right. The E180s is the 3 hours. The
Yeah,
120
yeah.
is the 2 hour.
Yeah,
2 hours.
yeah. No, you got pure 3 hour ones.
Yeah, well, you can get the 240s, right? So you can get the 4 hour versions,
Yes, I
and
do
or
remember
you could
that.
do them in long. Of course, yeah, you can do them in long play, but then you lose a little bit of quality. If you did them in long play, then
Yes,
the quality was degraded, so you
and
fit
you would
more
have to
on, but
make sure that you
yeah,
get
kind of
you make sure that you get the PAL version, not the NTSC.
that's it. Right, exactly. Brilliant. So you do know your videos. Not only that, once you've recorded it on there, you've got to break the little tab out so that you
Yes,
don't record over
so
it
you
as
don't
well.
record over. Exactly. Yes. So sometimes when we wanted to record over, we would put like a sticky tape on there, just so that we could
That's right, a bit
record
of
a bit.
sellotape, yeah.
That I'm telling you about old school. I'm old school. I'm old school.
Sometimes that tape, it used to break, so we ended up putting blue tack in there,
Oh my
because you
god.
needed something.
That was it. The blue tack. Listen, that was my sister all day, every day. Literally, literally, literally. That's memories. That is
Oh,
memories right there.
yeah, and listen, right? I mean, we know growing up in those areas. back then around those times. Had its things and whatever. I had two close friends of mine. One of them I've lost touch with. I don't see him anymore. But another one I still know him to this day. Both of them lived in Peckham, so we're
Yeah.
always backwards and forwards seeing each other. Even as
Mm.
I grew up older, a lot of the concerts I went to were in Brixton, and my granddad he lived in Norwood, so he was always going to
Right.
the market in Brixton and all that. So
Proper,
it's
proper, proper,
yeah,
proper,
so
proper,
it was just
proper.
yeah, it's just part and parcel. And not only
Yeah.
that, although back then with the kung fu films and all that, we used to have a quite an interesting little scene. I'm too young to have gone to the late night cinemas.
Yeah.
Um, I never did that because I was too young. I missed out on all that. But there was a lot of people that used to come round because I was well into this stuff. So I had all sorts. I had the tapes with the blue tack and all that in there. Right? So
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
all
yeah,
sorts.
yeah, yeah,
And they
yeah,
were
yeah.
always on the doorstep going, right, what new Kungs have you got and all that. So
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
it was good.
Nah,
A
trust
lot of
me. It was a time. It was a beautiful time, especially for me, because I used to even try to construct my own weapons using like loo rolls and not try to make nunchucks with string and loo
yeah,
rolls and stuff. I used to do stuff,
of course.
crazy stuff like
Yeah.
that. And video games was
Yeah.
another thing. Like video games was a big thing for me, like Tekken, Dragon Ball Z, Street Fighter. Those are the sort of things I grew up on. So I was very heavily into. Yeah, yeah, it's just inevitable. Come on now,
Isn't it just? Yeah, I
it's
agree. Yeah.
inevitable. It's just, and the reason why I kind of went full throttle with it is because I one day I asked my mom. I was like, no, I never asked my mom. I was talking to my mom, and I was like, look, I don't see much black representatives. Like, I know the Asians, you got the Jackie Chan, you got the Donnie Yens. I knew like Jim Kelly, I know like Michael J. White, I know Ron Hall, I know Carl Scott. Those are the people that I know, but there wasn't enough. I was like, I want to see more people that does kind of Hong Kong action but look like me. And she said, well, if you can't see it, do it yourself. And that was the thing. That was
Right.
literally how I started my journey. I was like, and she said it in the patois voice. She said, "Well, if you can't see it, then you must do it yourself, right?"
Right.
And
Yeah.
that was literally it. She said, "Create your own things," and that was where I kind of went into doing my own stuff and trial and error until I'm where I am now.
Well, look, I mean, your mum sounds absolutely brilliant. I love the fact that she supported you in what you wanted to do. You discussed it with her, and she gave you the green light and supported you. Because
Mm,
not everyone has that. So it sounds to
mm,
me like say you think back and there were good times, right? I love
yeah,
the fact that you're not harping on anything that's crap. You're saying no, it was good, and that's another story there from your mum, just saying you look, just get on with it and do
get
it.
on with
So
it.
that's amazing that you had the support there from your parents as well to do this thing. Because I just spoke to another filmmaker from Singapore, Jonathan, and he
Mm,
said that in Singapore it's a very frowned upon industry. No one's doing
mm,
action films, and he said
mm.
his parents they want him to be doctor and dentist and stuff like that. So they
Yeah, yeah,
frowned
yeah,
upon.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
had no backing, no support. So it's good to
Mm.
hear from your mum, and she made it simple. She just went, "Stop
Yeah,
chatting to me about it and do it, man."
yeah,
That's
just do
it.
it. And then fortunate with my dad, he's always been. I was because before I did all the martial arts, I was playing high level cricket. If you weren't, older generation is West Indies. Your cricket West Indies. That is literally right. My son is playing cricket, so I
Right.
played very high level. And I did pretty well in that career.
Yeah.
But martial arts has always been the bread and butter and my foundations as well. And my family knew that. My parents knew that. They were a bit off at first,
Yeah.
but after a while, when they saw that I was really serious about it, then they're very, very supportive now.
Probably what helped is that they never had to worry about what to do with the empty toilet rolls because you were making nunchucks from them. So they were
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, let him get
yeah,
on with it."
yeah. Yeah, I loved
Like,
it. Loved them times.
no, that's brilliant. But before I get onto the martial arts, I want to chat to you more about the kung fu films because
Mm.
you know that's the stuff I love, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so, what were you grew up around it? You said your older siblings were watching the stuff.
Yeah.
What's your earliest memory of a film that kind of made you go, "Yeah, I love this stuff"? Was there one?
Okay. So, so it works by phases, yeah. So from about four, I remember as little as four. So four to about seven, eight, it would have been Invincible Armor,
Oh,
Shaolin Plot. Uh,
ba-da-da-da,
yeah, 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 yeah.
ba-da,
That,
ba-dum, bum, ba-dum,
yeah.
dun.
It would
Bam.
have
Yes,
been One Armed Swordsman. It would have
yes.
been. It would have been. I said Shaolin Plot. It would have been One Armed
Shaolin Plot, yeah.
Mafia versus Ninja.
Oh, Low
Um,
Ray, brilliant.
yeah, Mad Monkey Kung Fu.
Like, yeah.
Um, the Buddha.
Wait, wait.
Was it called Buddhist Fist?
Buddhist
Buddha
Fist, yeah.
Fist.
Choi Siu Ming
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Yuen Wo Ping, yeah,
Prodigal.
brilliant.
Yeah, Prodigal Son. Those were that was my
Yes.
first phase. I could go on. Shaolin Temple. With not with Jet Li. With
Yeah, the Shaw
Dragon
Brothers one.
Lee. With Dragon Lee. Do you remember
Oh,
Dragon Lee?
Martial Monks of the Shaolin Temple.
Yes, 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 yes.
Dragon Lee and
Dragon
Thunderfoot.
Lee.
Yeah, the wicked cover with him like that with the scratches down his chest.
Yes, yes, those were, yeah. So that was what I
Love
knew.
that.
I knew those cheesy ones, you know. And I
Yeah,
copied
but
that.
you said with respect because you love them, right? You know,
Right. Yeah, of
they're
course.
those things are
I
wicked.
love
Yeah,
that. Then then I went later on. So when I started my own collection and my dad helped me with it, my first VHS that I bought was Outlaw Brothers.
brilliant.
Out
Frankie Chan.
Outlaw Brothers, Drunken Master 2,
Oh,
Fist of Legend. So it's all more the later versions.
yeah,
Obviously,
90s.
Meals and Wills, all of that stuff, Police Story, the
Yes.
typical. And then I really, but one of my favorite that really got me to really think of martial arts and wanted to do it was with Mark Dacascos, and it was Drive. That was
Oh,
my
really? Yeah.
that was the one that really got me because I was like, that was the perfection of of martial arts and acrobatics in a modern day society.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
and I was like, because it was very similar. It was like a violent version of Power Rangers. So
Mm.
I was a massive fan of Power Rangers. Obviously, you knew about Guyver and the
Yes.
Dark Hero and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like a souped up Power Rangers, more violent Power Rangers. And then when I watched Drive, it was like I'm watching Power Rangers but on a violent level. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is so cool. I started copying all the moves. I was literally like copying the movements, and that's what wanted me to like go into flips and doing the acrobatics, especially when I
Okay.
see Mark doing it himself. I was like,
Mm.
this is cold. This is, yeah, this was me. And it was my sister taped it. She taped it on Channel 5. And I was like, what is this? And I was just normally I go in the morning, come down in the morning, make my breakfast early morning, and then I'll see what did she tape, like, because she would always tape a 9 o'clock movie. And then I saw this movie and I was like, what is this? I was blown away. I was like,
Yeah.
no, this is crazy. And then that same day I was copying the moves. I think I watched it like 8 times that day, just back
Yeah.
to back, rewind, watch again,
Amazing.
rewind, watch again.
I tell you, that's an interesting one, Drive, because at the time of me watching that, I'd watched all the old films and whatnot, and I could see I mean, I wasn't really into the American Hollywood style
Mm-mm.
martial arts films, but that one, I remember me and my bro when we watched this one, we was only Mark Dacascos, you know, rubbish American one, but that one
Yeah,
was
yeah,
very
yeah,
inspired by Hong Kong style action because
yeah.
you could see by some of the choreography, you know, he'd ripped it off and all that, which is fine. I'm just saying that that one we went, you know what, this is actually good. It's decent. So yeah, we did like that as well. It was
Yeah,
a good
it
film
was,
for sure.
I spoke to, years later, I spoke to Steve Wang on Facebook. and I just got so much information about it, and the
Excellent.
stunt team, because it was a Japanese stunt team, Koichi Sakamoto, Alpha Stunts. They were doing
Right.
crazy levels. They're still about now. I've always wanted to meet them just to say how inspired I am too from them. But that was kind of like the first bit, and then obviously at that time I was watching a lot of Jackie Chan. My favorite fight scene is the last fight in Drunken Master 2. Um, that whole sequence, I think it was that half an hour sequence from the factory right until the fight with Ken Lo.
Hmm.
That for
Yeah.
me, I would watch that over and over and over and over again. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, I have pedicab driver and all of that
Oh,
sort of
great.
stuff.
Yes.
Because so now, fortunately, where I live, I'm not far from a hangar school, so I now go do. I always keep up with my training, and now I'm training hunger, like, but they've known of me for a long time, and vice versa, and they like welcomed me with open arms, and I'm learning now the hunger Lao Kar Lung style of and they want to build a stunt team, stuff like that. So it's like raw, like this is an honor for me anyway. So
Too right.
putting that all that together, it's quite crazy.
Okay. Hold that thought on the hunger. So it's now I see why you could not escape the kung fu. Why you've gone down that path. The films that you've reeled off there. I mean, they're some of the best. I don't know how any human eyes could watch that stuff and just it do nothing to them. That
100%.
stuff is yeah, all that stuff you mentioned. You done it all there. Dragon Lee, Sammo's, Jackie's, John Lu's, Thunderfoot's, a lot. Or Rubber Legs, however people name
Yeah,
Hank.
yeah, all
Yeah,
day, every
right.
day.
All that stuff, and your family are brilliant, right? You mentioned there, your mum said, "Yeah, follow your dreams." Your sister's there taping the films at 9 o'clock on the Channel 5, and taping the Jet Li season, so you get to watch all the stuff. Your dad, you just told me when you did your VHSs. I don't know how your dad helped you, but you actually mentioned there, my dad helped me, start my collection. What
Yeah.
brilliant! Love it.
Yeah,
I love this.
he used to
This is the
buy the
best.
videos for me. He used to buy the VHSs for me. He
Ah,
used to say, go, okay, I'm gonna help buy." And then like my brother as well, he would encourage, because he used to have he could remember when you had to could get rentals. So there was a local rental near
yeah,
my house. So he used
yeah,
to get all the martial art rentals and stuff. So I've always been in it. Like, but it's just I just said,
yeah.
you know what, I'm gonna do it myself, you know. But that goes on to like other bits and pieces where, with my eldest brother, and how it kind of gelled with the martial arts was more so with the reggae sound systems. And
Okay.
that's where the South London action actually came from, the original of the sound systems. So yeah, I'll tell you that more in a little while.
Yeah, no, please do, because another avid kung fu fan and a friend of mine, Rodney Dennis, he loves the kung fu's and he loves the reggae as well. So, and again, he
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
reggae
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
from his
yeah,
dad,
yeah,
and yeah, he's fully engrossed in that as well now as well. So
for
yeah,
sure,
but
for sure.
this is brilliant, right? So look, the martial arts.
Mm.
So you wanted to do it yourself, and I understand the getting up off the sofa and copying what's on the screen. I get that. But what was the first sort of time you went to a club to learn martial arts?
Yeah. So this was back. This was a while back. So this was around 98, and I went to it was in Camberwell, and it was my teacher, her name was Monsi, and she did kung fu. She did a Korean style kung fu called Sip Hao Ki kung fu, which is a Korean style kung fu, where they have the taekwondo names of kicks and stances, but it was a kung fu style. The forms were very
Okay.
short, but
Yeah,
they're very sharp as well. They were very sharp. The kicks were very sharp. Everything was very sharp, like taekwondo, but it had a kung fu element. So I did that till
yeah.
I was 17. From 98 until I was 17, and that's when I got my first black belt. Um,
Ooh.
and then from then, I kind of wanted to do a gymnastics and flips, but again, my mum was very strict, and She was like, "You're not doing it. You're not going to be doing backflips." And even though I was 17, she was like, "No, you're not doing it." And I wanted to do parkour
Because of the
because
danger aspect? Was it dangerous? Is
yeah, the
that why?
danger aspect. And I wanted to do parkour. I wanted to do free running. Because
Right.
the Jackie Chan, it was like, oh, the jumping. I was like, I always had the plan of what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to do it myself. But even though mum said do it yourself, she was still hesitant and scared because she was like, why are you doing this or why are you doing that? But I kind of knew what I
It's
wanted to
coming from
do.
a
Okay, I
place of
saw
love
Jackie
though,
Chan.
right? And care,
Yeah,
and
I
that's the
saw I saw
best.
Jackie Chan. I saw the stance. Okay, I'm gonna do parkour. So I went to a parkour class. And then I was like,
Right.
no, but I need to learn how to backflip. I need to learn how to flip properly. I want to do like Mad Monkey Kung Fu tumbling. I want to do all of that. So I
Yeah.
then went to a gymnastics class, and then I went to East London, Beckton, East London, where a lot of the stunt guys and a lot of the performers are there. And
Okay.
that first session in at Beckton, I learned round off backflip, like round off back tuck, and I was like, wow, I learned it like just like that, and it was due to like a couple of the stunt guys that were there already, and I just asked them, how do you do it? And then they said, okay, cool, and then I did it, and it was like easy. I was like, oh wow. So then, but my parents didn't really know that I was going because I was sneaking with my friend. Shout out to Eugene. I was going with my friend
Eugene,
Eugene
you
to,
say?
yeah, that's my good friend.
Eugene.
And when we went from there, we went to Beckton, and but we used to say, I used to say to my mom, yeah, I'm at the library with Eugene. Like we weren't there, we were actually at Beckton, and that's how I met a lot of the stunt guys and stuff, and my friends, and then yeah, that kind of just went into other areas and stuff. But yeah, it was always that I had like a plan, like from young. Okay, I want to do this. This is the path.
Now, one of the film you mentioned there, Mad Monkey Kung Fu, is an inspiration. You said, I want to do Mad Monkey Kung Fu tumbling.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, that is some lofty heights with, the star of that film, Seal Hull. He's
yeah.
tumbling in that film is
Crazy,
amazing, right? I mean,
crazy,
yeah, it's Mad Monkey, right? I mean,
crazy.
it's
Yeah,
really,
crazy.
yeah, that is a good one. So that was lofty heights to look up to, but you were still young, so you could definitely give it a go, and you were determined. But the thing is, I always wondered when I watched your videos, I was like, how comes this guy can like flip and stuff as well as do the kung fu? And
Yeah,
you've begun to answer that. So I'm curious, do you think the cricket background, is there any relation to what the training and the playing the cricket that helped you with martial arts? A lot of the time, people
100%.
say they dance. They dance. It doesn't have to be breaking, but a lot of time it's dancing, breaking, and that translates over into doing martial arts. But
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't know anything about. I was into the break dancing as well, but I know nothing about cricket. So maybe touch on a little bit to do with the cricket and how you think that might have helped you be able to go to a place and do a flip easy, as you
yeah,
say.
yeah.
What
Cricket,
it does.
cricket really, really helped. I can't even fault that. One of the things that you have to understand, like cricket is probably like people is saying it's a boring game, but honestly speaking, it's one of the most dangerous games, dangerous sports in the world.
Okay.
Just because of the how that ball is and how fast, like let's say you're a batter, how fast that ball comes at you,
Mm.
your reaction time. So let's say a ball's coming at you at
Mm.
90 odd miles an hour. It's a 22-yard pitch. That's coming at to you. It's at 0.3 seconds, 0.4 seconds. You have for the ball to come out the person's hand, for it to come to you, and for you to play is about 0.3, 0.4 seconds in terms of reaction.
Right.
When you are a bowler, you're putting 10 times your own body weight on one foot at a particular moment as a fast bowler. And
Oh,
I
the
was a
whole
fast
league.
bowler. Yeah, you're
Okay.
putting
So
10 times
yeah.
your own body weight in on that one leg. So it's a strain. It's a big strain on your body, but you have to condition. You have to condition. You have to, and kung fu literally helped that because I was doing a lot of kung fu, so I didn't get injured a lot like other people because I knew how to stretch. I knew to get flexible. I was doing yoga every day. I they both worked hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. They both
Um,
helped each other. Yeah. The
yeah.
kung fu helped
So,
the cricket,
but
and the cricket helped the kung fu.
the discipline. Let's say with cricket, you have to be, it's hours. If you're batting, you're gonna be batting for 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, and your
Right.
concentration has to be so sharp. And if you lose concentration, you can actually get out. So you have to mentally be prepared to deal with that eventuality if needs be.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that really did help. Cricket really helped. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so strength and discipline, and like you say, timing and reaction time, and having to be quick, but also keep that mind sharp for long periods of time, even though you're fatigued,
Yeah,
right? Because as you say, it's
yeah, yeah,
dangerous.
yeah,
You
yeah,
let
yeah.
your mind slip and you get cracked with a ball. But you have to be good at bowling and batting then, both
I
things?
was pretty good at both.
Right.
Um, not me, but some people are specialized in one and then specialize in the other.
Okay.
I was good. I was what you would call an all-rounder. So I was
Mm.
mainly a bowler, but I could bat as well.
Well, there you go. So this is why I asked, because I've learnt stuff there about cricket and now how it
Mm.
helped you
Yeah, 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 for sure,
in your
for
training
sure.
and discipline, right?
Yeah,
It's still
yeah,
a sport that required discipline. So
yeah,
thanks to your dad there for was he the one who sent you to cricket? Yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Mr. Moody. Yeah, that's
Yes, Mr. Moody. Respects for the
yeah,
cricket game
respect.
there, mate. Yeah.
No, respect
Yes,
to him. Yeah, man.
definitely. Yeah. So that's good. So that's why you was able to go into things. You had some strength and some conditioning already,
Mm.
mental and physical, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
mental and
yeah,
physical.
yeah. And
And
but then this is why I created a stunt team because I was always in a team game and cricket is a team game played by individuals. So even though you're in a team, it's not like football where you're a team and yeah, everyone has their strengths and stuff. With cricket, everyone has their strength, but you're individual playing that game. So even though you're part of a team, is how many wickets you're gonna get, how many runs are you gonna get for yourself, but it's also helping the team to
right,
say, and that's the same business model. Because I look at, I'm the type of person that I look at like what does success look like. So for me, yeah, there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of people that do like stunts individually, and they're very good stunt artists. But who has whose business model would I replicate? And I always, success leaves clues. And the person that I look at is Jackie Chan because Jackie Chan had his own stunt team. He has his own
mhm,
production. He's got the most
yes,
credit of anyone in a film, even including
yep,
music, distribution, licensing,
mhm,
all of these different things. This guy knew. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing that I would copy because if I understand that, okay, there's a team. Was I gonna call it Jordan's stunt team? Not really, because it didn't really make any sense in my head. But I called it South London Action. Now, first, it was called CSC Stunts, which we called Creative Superior Elite Stunts, and it worked. But then I changed it to the Academy of Heroes, which I then came were more of the teaching aspects of things. But then I was like, right, the idea of the sound systems, which I came from Brixton. My brother, his dad, Coxon sound, the reggae sound, and I was like, this actually makes sense. And then I was like, everyone knows about South London or London, so I said,
mhm,
okay, well I know Hong Kong action. It's a geographical location, but it's done with an action. And I was like, London action, and then something said South London action. I'm from South London.
it's you. Yeah,
It's me. I was like,
yes,
raw, hold on. So I was like, South London action. And then I added the design later because of 8711, the John Wick guys. So I was like, South London action design. And it just stuck. And I was like, now I'm using Hong Kong action that
mm,
I've learned, kind of mix and blend it with the flavor of Brick South and create
yes.
my own things.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely, you got to have your own flair, it's your own thing. And what you
Yeah.
thought about there is, you've brought your being, your soul into this, and gone, what am I all about? And And what you're all about is what we discussed at the beginning: your upbringing,
Exactly.
where you're from, what it means to you. And I love the fact that that is incorporated into the title of your business, because people wouldn't know that. They don't need to know that it's you. You know, that's come from
That's
you.
what it
I
is.
love it. There's actually, it's not just about, oh, it's based in South London. No, you never mentioned this based in South London. You're just talking about that it's that encompasses South London. And I love that connection to, you know, the Hong Kong action teams,
Yeah,
and that we're the
yeah,
South London version of it.
yeah.
Brilliant.
And then so what I've done is that with my school, the children, so I teach, and that's Rustamont
I saw,
Warriors.
yeah.
So the
Yeah, I
Rustamont
saw.
Warriors is my school, but they have a so instead of it being where, okay, I again coming from the same model as Jackie, he has generational stunt team. So he's not doing
Yes,
the
that's
stunts
true.
anymore,
Yeah.
but he's got 7, 8 generations. So I'm thinking
That's
to
right. All
myself,
got
well,
logos and everything. Yeah. Seen them, yeah.
well, it makes
Great.
sense if I've got children that are what 8, 9, they can potentially be the next generation. And then the next generation is always Rustamont Warriors will go back into South London action. So it's all a join up. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
And but you again you have to see it's not original. It's just looking at a model that works.
Well, that's it. That's right. But you're adding your own flair to it. Your own thing is in there, right? That's
Yeah,
in there. I've seen some of this stuff that the kids are doing, and I'm massively impressed. First off, you know, unlike your mum, the parents are letting them go there,
yeah, man.
and
Listen, if I
yeah,
had that back in the day, I would be a beast. I'd be an absolute beast. I'd
exactly
be
right.
crazy.
So that's yeah, the Rasta Monk Warriors. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
this stuff is unbelievable what you're getting these kids to do, and you can see as well, non-martial artists, and you're able to. I don't know how quick you do it, but you can see. All right, he's got this person to be able to do sort of film fighting, handle a sword like a wooden sword, or do some basic flips. And I saw these kids doing one arm flips and all that. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, absolutely incredible achievements that
thank
these
you.
kids, and not just the kids. I can see it isn't just the kids, right? I can see there's other people that go to this school, and
Yeah,
honestly, the stuff you've got doing, because maybe kids can pick this stuff up, but I'm still impressed. But people that are a bit older, it's difficult to do these things, and you're getting them doing stuff, and you're getting them to shoot their own little films, or at least be part of it and all that, and they can take something away with them. The
yeah,
things
yeah,
you're
yeah,
teaching them, you're giving them a
yeah.
vehicle to show them as well, and I love that. I love that.
It's just for me, from my father again, is don't take a child down a blind alley or a cul-de-sac. So what that means is that let's say you're planning something and you're creating. Okay, when they get a black belt, is that it? They're just gonna just train? Nah, they give them a way to continue. So example, one of my first student, Jaden, he got really, really good very quickly. He's been with me for 8 years, trained with me to a point where he was training with me every single day. And now he does stunts for film, like no problem. As well as he does he teaches gymnastics to kids, and then he does stunts for film. And he's
Excellent. Yeah.
23 now. And he's doing very, very well for himself. And those little things, now that could have gone left. He could have gone into a gang, or he could have gone somewhere else. But
Mm,
just because of that little moment of that time where it was spent and invested, and I know how he works and how he moves, then you realize, okay, well, there can't be a cul-de-sac that he goes down where there's nothing there. Okay, Jaden, I've got a job for you. It's this amount. Can you do it? Yes, Jordan, I can. Cool. See you later. No problem. And he's
mm,
making more money than most 20-year-olds,
right.
doing, at his age, he's doing very, very well for himself. And it's just because I made sure that I said, I can't allow that energy for, let's say, example, Jaden or whoever the children are, to be like, right, that's about it, you know, thank you very much and taking their parents' money, bye bye. It doesn't work like that. My passion is martial arts. My passion is to help people to achieve the greatest version of themselves. And in doing so, it will help me as well. And it's like a beautiful chain, and bringing our own flavor to it. It's you wake up in the morning sometimes asking yourself, is this real? Because you never it's only now when you start to pick it up and you're like realizing, right, this is actually becoming reality. Something that was in my thought from young, 9 years old, 7 years old, is now becoming reality 20 years later. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, you made it happen, and this is the thing, because you're getting feedback from it now. That's
Mm,
what's you're seeing the fruits of it. You say you want to help people, and like you say, that's just a thought, but you now know that you have helped people, that you are helping people because you're
yeah.
getting them on the straight and narrow, or stopping them from veering on a bad path or whatever. You're giving them purpose, giving them something to dedicate their time and energy to, and
Mm,
and look what's happening. You know it's working because it you're doing it, you're a product
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
Okay, it's
yeah,
also
yeah.
building you as well now,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. For sure. For
it's
sure.
this is this
Beautiful.
is this is amazing. I mean, you've got so much going on. Um, how did you manage to how do you manage your time? There seems to be a lot on your plate. Um, how are you managing all of this stuff? This is quite a task, all the things that you do here.
I think so. The first thing again, looking at JC and all of these people, one thing that you have to understand, delegation is absolute key.
Interesting.
When you have a team or you have people around you that are like-minded like yourself, you can easily delegate. So for me, it's easy for me to delegate and know how to rest, because there's no point of me burning out and then I'm trying to give 100% energy to anyone. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, I have people around me. Um, you know, my wife, she's very supportive. Um, Jaden, I'm South London Action Team as well, and I have people that I
Mm.
can ask. Look, can you help me with this? And in doing so, I'll help you with that. You know, um, so those are the things that literally works for me. Yeah, delegation.
Yeah, well, that is absolutely brilliant advice, because you're so into this stuff that you can get wrapped up in it and go, well, I want to do everything. Because we mentioned before about being involved in everything and knowing a bit about everything, and you've done that. You know a
Mm,
bit about everything. But you're also, once you've grown to a point, you've now been confident enough in your abilities to actually let some of that go, or at least to spread it out and farm
yeah,
it out, rather than just
yeah,
go, I'm in control of it. You've got people that
and
you
and and
trust
I think
around you.
yeah, and I think so. Example, I'm very entrepreneurial as well. So I love business. I love other business. I do other business as well. And one of the things that I really like was the model of Google. And Google has a let's say they have a thing for employees that, let's say they have an idea, they will give them an capital for them to build that idea through Google. And so the people
Right.
feel like, I'm heard. And you have to understand that when I choreograph, example, I'm not
Yeah.
that type of person that I will be like, right, it's my choreography and I want it like this. I will give the skeleton. I'll say, right, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. I like it in a particular style. Play. Let's have a play. So now the team doesn't feel like, oh, I'm completely in control. I'm giving
Yeah.
them free roam. And with that, they come up with ideas, and you're like, right, I didn't even think of that, That's cold. All right, let's put that in there. And if something doesn't really make sense, can we put that in a little bit later? We can move that around, and they feel included. From
Yeah.
that position, people want to stay because they feel involved, they feel included. They feel like, okay, well, I'm part of something. But if
Yeah.
I'm fully in control, which a lot of people, especially in the community, a lot of stunt community, there's a lot of people that are very controlling. yes, they might get the work, but they don't have the people around them that they kind of happy with. They don't.
Yeah,
They always on their own, and that's
yeah,
not really a community. When
yeah.
as a Jamaica growing up, it wasn't just my parents that brought me up. It was a community. It was a whole
Mhm.
the street. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Brixton. I was is people know my dad, so I wouldn't you wouldn't get into trouble or do you know what I'm saying? Everyone knows everyone. So that sort of model, that's what I'm saying. Coming from the music perspective or that energy of perspective, we understand that when there was a music sound system, it wasn't just one man with their sound, it was a whole team. And every one of them had their roles and responsibility. And there was never really overly control. It was just, there's a vibe, let's make it happen. That's literally
Look,
it.
that is amazing. Yeah, no, listen, that's amazing advice as well to give because you're right. When you've got a vision for what you want to do, so let's just say your short film or your clip, you it's easy for you to take control of that and just go, well, I know what I want it to look like, and I just need people to do it. And then, like you say, you're just telling people what to do for you. And you're taking that away and going, no, I'm telling you what to do. This is my overall vision for this, but throw stuff in. You're even saying that if the stuff don't quite work, you put it to one side and go, yeah, but I'll keep that, and maybe we'll use it later. Because then you're allowing that person not only to want to work with you, but that creative freedom that you was always looking for right from that young kid where your mum went, go and do it then. That creative freedom, you understand that because that's what you wanted. So
Yeah.
you're passing it on. And even though this is your thing and you want it to look and feel how you is, but you've grown up with a team and trustworthy with people around you, and you want them to be creative. But they're only going to be creative if you allow them to do it. It's like me and my brother, we do a lot of things for each other, but we give each other a little bit of a clue, and then we kind of don't say nothing else because we want to see what they come up with. What's he going to come up with? What do I come up with? And then it just means that it gives you the opportunity to create. And the fact you're allowing people to do that work, let's say with you, not for you, that
Hmm.
that they will love that, and that will be
All the
more proof
time,
for all of
and
you.
this is what I'm saying is that you when you see success, like I say again, success leads crew. I look at, even as a doing the martial arts, but I look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's employees has been with him for 30 odd years. They haven't moved.
Yeah, why?
There's
Yeah.
a reason why.
Mm.
This guy, they've made him money. He's made them money. Why they're moving? They don't need to move. They're happy where they are. Is the same kind of thing. And I think if more and more people know that, okay, you don't have to be so your control is being out of control. That's the best thing I can say. Your control is you out of control because
Mm.
it's like the same way as like you can say like let's say we talk about, let's say, manifestation. You might think of something like, I want this car, right?
Mhm.
And you've really thought of this car and you're thinking about the car. And the more that you think about the car, and then you're thinking about how you're going to get the money to get the car, now now that car is going further and further away because you're now think of the how. Instead of allowing, say, okay, I like this car, let, if you believe in God, or the universe, let the universe take charge.
Yeah.
I've now let
Yeah.
it go. I've let go of the control. I now know that car's there. I want this car, I desire the car, but I ain't trying to. I'm not even gonna think of how I'm gonna get the car. I'm just gonna just leave it. And then all of a sudden, the ideas might come into your head. That's how I'm gonna get the car.
That's right.
It's letting go of control, and it's
Yeah.
very hard in this society to let go of control because so many people feel that they're out of control
Mm.
through
Yeah.
government,
That is a very deep way.
through through
Yeah.
people, through not being
Yeah.
themselves, not being their authentic self, not
Mm.
being trying to do things for other people and not feel appreciated. So now they want to get that control back. So by doing that, they're gonna
Yeah.
have to try to control other people. That it's a circle, man.
It's true. Like, listen, it's true, right? It's a very deep way of looking at this manifestation thing, which is obviously a big topic, and a lot of people talk about it. And I think on the surface, people do just think it's like, I want this thing, and I'm going to manifest it, which means I'm going to make it happen. In
Mm,
whatever it is, an MMA fighter will do the same and go, right, I'm going to manifest this win. I've visualized it, and I'm going to win, or whatever. So there, but the way you've looked at it is totally different. You've decided on the thing that you want, and it don't have to be a material thing like a car, right? It can be something else, right? You've decided on it, but then you've let faith take over and said, no, it's okay. I believe that will happen if it is meant to happen. And that could be a simple thing like karma. What goes around comes around. The kindness you give out, it will just come back to you. And that, as the older I get, that is what I'm finding, because I built up this, you only need a small amount of people around me that have been there for good, that I know are always going to be there. And you do things for each other, like you say,
Yeah.
community, friendship, like the kung fu films, brotherhood, brethren business. I call it. That's what we. That's what
Go on. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm. Well, I grew
Yeah.
up with it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what our sort of people do, right? We look out for each other. We help each other. So if a guy says to me, "Oh, I need," I'll give you a real example. He wanted the trench digging in his garden. They were putting some whatever thing up at the front of his house. I don't know. He's a builder. I don't know what it is. So yeah, okay, no worries. I'll come round. I'll come round and help. No problem. Oh, will you? Of course I will. Right? What do you want? Well, nothing. I just want to come and help you.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
and
mm.
that's it. And we're talking about probably 3-4 years later. I kind of needed this same guy, and it's not someone that I'm close with, but I'm close with his brother,
Yeah.
and I kind of needed his help or someone like his help, and
Mm,
so I thought, well, just ask,
mm,
and I did, and I just asked, and I didn't go through his brother, I just went direct to the actual guy, and he was like, yeah, of course, and I thought to myself, this is because of the stuff I've built up, that not real currency, the
mm-hmm.
the friendship currency is built up, and it happens all the time, right? It happened recently. Needed a car, don't have a car, can't afford it, would help out. There's lots of things we can't do without it. We could do with one, but there's nothing we can do. We just can't have one at the moment. Friend of mine moving away, moving to another country. Would you like my car? How much? Nothing, and it's because I think about it. I sit and think about it and go, "Blimey, hell, that's nice of him." And then I think about it and go, "Yeah, I know, but I'm nice to him as well, And I have been for donkey's years. And I do think to myself, it comes with age, bit of experience, a bit of doing it. But I do think that karma thing and what goes around comes around. You build that up. You just don't. You have to have faith that you do not know what these kind gestures and things they might amount to nothing. You don't do it
Mm,
to get
mm,
something in return, but you
mm.
put that energy out there, and it does come back if needed, only if
100%.
needed. Yeah.
100%. And that's my liberty. That's my liberty. That's why it's changed now in terms of the energy, in terms of what I do now. Um, but I just allow the energy to flow. I don't, what's that word? I don't push it as anymore. I'm not trying to push. The money will come when the money comes. When the money does come, it will come nice because
Mm.
I put the work in. You
You deserve
understand?
it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's them
Yeah.
ones there, like that's where I'm at the moment. And I just appreciate the journey. I'm loving the journey.
Well, this is what you have to do. There's a lot of people that do things. So, for example, this channel that I do now,
Mm,
it's simply done because I don't know I wanted to do it, and I love this kind of thing. I love chatting about it, and you always have to remember the reasons that you do stuff. Now, this takes a hell of a lot of time and energy for me to do, whether it be these videos or editing and all that. It just takes me so long to do. And while I'm doing it, I'm learning different skills, learning how to use different bits of software. So I feel like I'm leveling up each time. So
yeah.
kind of feel like, oh, well, you're learning stuff. But, standard, what me and my friends call, 3D financial, it does nothing,
Mm,
right? It does not pay the bills. But you
for
have to
sure.
then ask yourself why. There's a lot of other channels that give up on this stuff and go, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have enough. I don't have enough thumbs up, enough likes. I don't have enough subscribers. I'm not making any money off it. Listen, that's all good, right? If it's not worth it, then it's not worth it. But why did you start it in the first place? If you started it to
Mm,
make money and it's not making money, okay, then whatever. But I didn't start it to make money. And as you said, if that comes, then it comes, but it's not the goal. That isn't the reason. I don't live for money. It's not my driving force. Even when I started, so not this, but because this is just a hobby. But when I started my business with my friend and my
Mm,
brother, the goal was, yeah, it wasn't money driven. It was
mm-hmm,
get out of the system 9 to 5 grind drive to get
mm,
me and as many people as possible, not many because it's only a small business, out of that thing and make them happier. No more, can I go to the dentist? I'm sitting here with toothache. Go to the dentist. Can I have a week off? Yes. How many weeks have I had off? I don't care. Just have another week off. Who
yeah,
cares, right? The
yeah,
point is, obviously everyone wants to get out of it, and I could only get a couple of people out of it, but that was the point of it. Now, I'm a bit crap like that because I stunt the growth because I don't want it to get too big or whatever because otherwise I won't be happy.
mm,
There was a certain level. But you see, this kind of stuff is quite important for people to get out of that because, as you said, the reason you were okay with growing yours is because you lent on other people
mm,
and you did it as a team. And I think
yeah,
that is a really, really good lesson, for me to learn as well with this stuff. So yeah, I think what you've done there is really, really admirable, and I'm
I
glad you've
appreciate
chatted
that.
about it.
I
Yeah, well,
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you opening up and talking about it as well because I hope if anybody watches this, they're sitting there not knowing what to do with themselves and scared to take the leap or whatever, then they need to start giving it a go and talking to people or
No,
listening,
hundred
and they'll get
percent,
inspired,
hundred
right?
percent. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. This is it, and it's just a journey. And I know what the destination is, but I don't focus on the destination. It's the journey.
Yeah,
The destination, you already know it, so you go for it. Like I was speaking to my cousin today, and he's doing very well for himself. And one of the things that we always say, when he feels like he's back against the wall and he feels really like under pressure, I used to just say keep going because there's no other way besides keeping going. If you keep going, like let's say you've got your podcast, you don't know what that podcast is going to do in 5 to 6 years, even
that's right.
even 10 years. That podcast will probably be on par or competing with Joe Rogan. Do you know what I mean? Like I think like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it might
I know.
not be, but you never know. Do
I
you
know.
know what I mean? But as long as you're trying,
Mhm.
or as long as you keep going, like I want to be up there with Jackie Chan. I would like to be up there with these guys. If they say Rasta monkey, they say,
Yeah,
"Yep, that guy there, he's on levels."
that's
Yeah,
the one.
that
Yeah.
and I know that in time, if I keep doing what I'm doing, it will be that way. You know, even higher.
Well,
You
this is
never know.
this is it. Yeah, right, even higher. That no, I agree with that. I remember my dad because obviously I grew up watching my dad working hard and this, that, and the other, and obviously I have those work ethics in me because that's what I was taught. But I remember when he got a bit older, he said something to me that meant quite a lot at the time because he was always trying to make whatever, trying to make the million or whatever, whether it be stocks, shares, the job, businesses. That's what he was trying to do, to support his family and whatever. So he didn't have to work so hard. But one
Mm,
day he said to me, "I'm done chasing rainbows," is what he said. And he was a lot older at the time, and it was, it hit me quite hard because I thought about when he said that, and I
mm,
realised that that wasn't a happy thing for him to say because it was
yeah.
kind of like I didn't make it, I didn't get that. But he did top it off with, "But look what I have got, your mum, your brother." And he was happy then. And I thought to
Mm,
myself, well, this is it, that what you've done all that time driving, driving, driving. It's not always what it's about, like you
no.
said, the podcast, this channel has already given me things that I can't buy. It's given me friendships that I can't replace, that I never would have had, that have come from
Mm,
this. And
that's what I'm saying.
those things are priceless. These are things that they're true human things that I can't replace, that I'm very, very grateful of. And if it just done that alone, then you know, I'm happy enough with that. So yeah,
for
it's
sure.
already done things, as you said. It's already
Yeah,
done
yeah,
things.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
doesn't have
Amazing.
to be money. As you say, that will come maybe, you know, but
Yeah,
it's
just
not
keep
it's not
going.
the
That's what I'm
driving.
gonna say. Just keep going. Never stop. Never stop. Just
It's
keep
funny you should
going.
say that. Yeah, because it is a little bit hard and a bit daunting, right? But then eventually I just went, "I'll just carry on," you know? And that's what
Mm.
I've done. I've kind of, I don't know, pushed even more with it anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah, man,
man.
that's
I'm
wicked.
loving it. I've watched a few of them as well. So
I
when you said
appreciate
that you want to be on there, I was like, I was honored to be part of it. You know.
no, well, the honour's all mine. I appreciate it for
Thank
you know,
you.
even considering to come on. When someone says yes, I'm always kind of amazed that they even bother. You know, so
Yeah,
you don't have to
for sure.
give me your time. You know, you don't have to give me your time. You don't have to share anything with me, and you have. So yeah, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank
No,
you.
no,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Now listen,
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
loads more to chat about. But I mean, you might not have time. But
No,
the
I
ball.
got time. I
All
got
right,
time.
so this.
I'm gonna. Is it all right to leave? You go toilet right now and then come back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Let me
man.
go toilet. I'll
Always.
come
Yeah,
back.
do it.
1 second.
Look, so this guy, is this the Hong Kun you were talking about? Is this Rapid
Hunger,
Fist
yeah,
bloke?
hunger.
Is this the
Hung-
Rapid Fist bloke?
So yeah, so that's a mad how that even happened. I've only known him for 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, what happened is that he messaged me. So 7 years ago, I met his teacher. And his teacher, because I was really into the Hong Kong stuff, I wanted to be part of Jackie Chan's stunt team. I wanted to do all of that stuff. And then I spoke to a guy named Mark Holton, who was Lau Kar Lung's disciple.
Yeah,
So
I'm aware. I'm aware of him. I've met him a long time ago, by the way.
right,
In wait there. I'm going to show
no
you
worries.
something.
All right,
Luckily, it's
awesome,
not
awesome.
stored
Can't
away.
wait.
I don't know why I've got this out, but I have. So here, look, there he is. That's a young
Okay.
me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's Lau Gar-Fai, Gordon Liu, me
Oh
with a
wow.
36
Now
chamber teacher, and Mark
you
Houghton.
you going way back.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
going
that
way
was
back.
1990.
Right. That's when I was like 1 years
He
old.
signed on that 1990. Yeah,
Yeah, that's old school. No, so
I,
I met so
yeah.
so
So I
Rapid
know who you're
Fist.
talking about. Is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah, so Rapid Fist. He knows another mutual stunt. Well, his brother's a mutual stunt guy that I know. And then I spoke to him. I was like, bro, like, yeah, I want to work with you because you do Hangar. But I met his teacher 7 years ago. But where I live not too far from the school. But I forgot that I lived that not too far from the school. So two now, I'm like near the school, and I'm like, hold on a minute, I'm like literally by the school. So I went back 2 weeks ago, and they were like saying to me, they've been watching me for a while. Let's do a fight scene. So I did a little quick fight scene, and then I just was speaking to him, and then we realizing that we've got so much mutual energy, mutual vibe, and I said, you know what? Well, it's not. I kind of put that Jackie Chan stunt team on the back burner, but I'd rather learn Hungar, which is all that old school kung fu stuff, and learn it properly. Go back again to kung fu because I did kung fu. I did modern wushu as well. I've done taekwondo. I've done bushido. I've done a lot, but I wanted to do this, and I've always wanted to do this. So I said, all right, cool. And then we created a little fight scene, and we're just trying to build the Hungar, the Lau Kar Lung Honga stunt team, but that's going to be in association with South London Action. So it's all put into all together.
brilliant. So just in case, I mean, I was hoping we were going to discuss this, but is this what you're talking about?
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yes. Look at that.
the proper old school.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Love this. Love this. Right. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna have to bring it up now. You know what I love about that? Sound effects on each one.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Old school,
yeah,
bringing that old school
of
flavor.
course, right? That's why he's so brilliant, right? There's
Yeah,
some, yeah, yeah. Who's that? Has just walked in.
who's that? Like,
Yeah.
who's that? And this is where the school is as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. On the screen. Yeah. Lovely. Wicked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So that was just one example of, many of the things you've done. That one did stick out for me because it was old school kung fu. I loved
yeah.
the hungary he was doing. A lot of the times there's not really any sound effects on these things, but now I know why there is, because you're into the Hong Kong style. I love that double palm there, and then you do it, and then it zooms in and shows it, accentuates it, slows it
Oh,
down.
that
But I
old
also love
school
the fact that he
flavor.
goes,
That's when you know I've been watching this
yes,
thing for time.
I can tell, yeah.
Been watching this thing for
But it's,
years. Listen, it's it. And then what I
yeah,
do before I even like go to do a choreographed fight scene, I'll just watch the old school again just to refresh my memory, and then I'll do it
oh,
again.
I mean, yeah, what a hardship that is, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love it, love it.
Yeah, rewatch the best films ever as like, I don't know, training. Yeah, brilliant training. That's the theory, right? Go back and watch the best films.
100%, 100%. And
That
it's
that that
yeah.
that's good, no?
No, I just I
That's all choreographed by you, that, yeah? That
it was that
that stuff,
yeah. So the
that's all
choreography was
choreographed
done
by
by
you.
me. The camera was done by wife because I told her how to use the camera.
Yeah?
And
Well,
then
respect
obviously
for
the
the wife.
performer was me and her, me and him,
Yeah?
me and Ezra.
Well, I mean, look, I know he knows his kung fu, but kung fu and film fights, they're very different.
Yeah,
So that is a testament to him and his skill, but also you teaching him how to do film fighting,
yeah.
because you ain't known him very long. My presumption is he hasn't. Has he not done film fighting before? He's just
He's
real
done a
martial arts,
couple.
right?
He's done a few
Is
films,
he?
like one or two, but he's not on the extent of like myself.
Okay.
But but the fact that we have a mutual understanding of what we would want in terms of action, we kind of said, look, this is what we want to do. Can this be done? And it's like, okay, right, we ain't messing about, we ain't playing games. Let It was like literally the week before, we're like, right, next week we're doing choreographed fight scene. Okay, cool, let's go.
Well, look, you know what I loved about it? The second it started, it wasn't all about let's just have a smash up. He started off with a form, a bloke doing the kung fu, the
Yeah.
reason he can fight, showing the
Mm,
moves, sound
mm.
effects, paying respects, doing the incense. All of that was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, of course we want it to lead to have a smash up, and that's what happened. But
Yeah,
mate,
yeah,
good job.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
I
I know
appreciate it.
Rodney loves that as well. Yeah, it's wicked.
Nice, nice, nice. Nah, I think Mark as well, Mark Houghton, he liked it as well, which was an honor to me. Um,
Certainly. Yeah.
Real honor. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful time. Is that like right now? I like a lot of people are talking about the UK and how the UK is very miserable and stuff. But I'm like, what a great time to be alive. What is a great time to be? You have the best opportunity of a lifetime to make something happen. And I see it wholeheartedly that we're in a great time. I'm generally happy.
It's funny you should say that, because you are right. There are plenty of reasons to be miserable if we focus on the misery that is quite blatantly out there. But
Mm,
as me and my bro often say, you create your own reality. And I think the best advice I can give anyone is switch that telly off. Unless it's got a kung fu film on it, switch that TV off, because that is just, the stuff on there don't do you no good. You'll be happier without it. Go
yeah,
outside and look, take, never mind what you're being told. Go off what your real reactions and what your actual interactions are like with people. So, for example, we'll take a current example of me and you. We don't know each other. This is the first time we've met. Do I
Mm.
look miserable? Do you look miserable? Do we look
Nah,
like we're not getting on? No,
nah,
no,
far from it.
no.
Far from it.
Right? Exactly. So this is a real reaction. So don't worry about what I mean. It's probably to do with how I grew up and my upbringing and stuff as well. That will help. But because obviously I don't listen to that crap. But look at so whatever anyone tells me, I'll be able to tell them different and go, no, I've just spoke to this guy Rasta Monk and he was brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
It
real.
is and because we have a mutual vibe and mutual vibration of action, it and what we love. This is rich, this is wealthy beyond measure. This is like I feel like I'm a multi-billionaire right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm talking to someone about stuff that I generally enjoy, and we can speak for hours upon hours about it, and I will never get tired because it's like it just doesn't stop. We just keep going,
Yeah.
this is a dream of mine, so it's like this is wealthy, you know.
Yeah, and in chatting about this, so we had one thing to bring us together, kung fu films, you making short films or whatever. One thing to bring us together, but look at all the other things that we've got sort of common thoughts on,
Mm,
and
mm,
that's what it's all about. So stop listening to others and get your own experiences, and go out and experience it for yourself, and you'll
yeah.
realize that, like you say, you want to be miserable. There's plenty of reasons to be miserable. Yeah, plenty, plenty,
That's
plenty.
literally it. Literally,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah,
literally.
and it is all going on. It is all going on around us. We know that, but it ain't going on around me. It ain't going around you because we've shut that off. That's the
You
bad vibes,
close your
bad
eyes
energy.
to it. You close your eyes to
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
close your eyes to it. It doesn't bother me now. All I ask is for peace and love and unity, respect, and I give it, and I expect it in return. And it's like, and I do expect it because what I put out is what I should get back. If I'm
yeah.
giving
That's it.
negativity, then like cool, but generally I show love and appreciation to most. So unless you proper violate me, then the South London vibe comes out. The South
Yeah,
London vibe does come out, and I'm like, raw, you need to hold yourself and calm down. Do you understand? But generally, I've never really needed to use it because they already know where I'm from, and there's a respect level. So
yeah. But
yeah,
as you say, it's there to draw on if you need it. But you also learn as you mature and stuff that you don't need this stuff because whatever it is that's annoying you, where the South London vibe needs to come out, you you
mm,
you can walk away from it and go, no, I ain't. I'm not entertaining that. You,
exactly,
it's
exactly.
it's the whole the five element, the balance, the yin yang. I often
Actually, that
say
was the I
someone
think
can't.
that was the form that the guy was doing. Ezra was doing was five
Yeah,
elements. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was. It was. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Chess boxing.
Yes, bro.
Do the five,
Yeah,
do the five, do the five elements in that, right?
yeah. Is that
Uh,
Mystery of Chess Boxing?
that's Mr. Chess boxing. That's right. Yeah.
That is my second favorite film, by the way. Just letting you know. Is like my
Well,
it is the one that I with Jack Long, and
yes,
Lee Mi Yin. That
yes.
guy apparently that guy Lee Mi Yin had the world record of the most back handsprings.
Well, it's actually on the intro. He's doing them straight away. That's the opening for the film, isn't it?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that guy's a different. He's a beast, man. I've never known. I always wanted to know what he's up to now, if he's still alive and stuff. I was trying to find him, but I couldn't find him. Couldn't
Well,
find him.
well, hang on. Right,
Don't
right.
tell me you
So,
found him. Don't tell me you
well,
found him.
I haven't, but
I, was-
hold
I, I
on.
was
Look at
gonna,
this.
I was gonna, I was gonna drop my phone. I've dropped the mic if there was a mic.
Right. Okay. Look, this is chess boxing poster, and what's that next to
Oh,
his head? Signature.
oh. When did you
Yes.
did you get that? Did you actually get that signed?
Well, I mean, I'm very lucky to know somebody, a guy called Toby Russell, who gifted me that poster. So he knows Lee I'm in, and he got that for me. And obviously, I greatly appreciate that. So shout out to Toby Russell. Thanks, Toby, for getting
Man
that
like
for me.
Toby,
He knows
if man like Toby knows where he's at, let me know, because right now man's trying to find him still. Because he was the one that
okay.
when I wanted to learn like to tumble, I would watch him all the time, because he wasn't fat, but he was quite stocky, but he could move so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
man. That's he's even he gave. I mean, I can show it to you later, but I ain't got. It would take me. It would give me grief to load it up on here. But he even sent me a photograph of him of the old Lee Min, the current version, signing that poster.
crazy,
So yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So brilliant.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
so there is connection there. Yeah.
I said that like, this is what I'm talking about, manifestation. I said I always wanted to meet that guy, and then you just literally said it, and then your shirt. I didn't even clock your shirt was Michio checks boxing. So it's like this is what I'm saying. Synergy. It's just
Right.
yeah, man.
What? Yeah. I don't bring up the t-shirt, but we were chatting films, and I went, okay, well, I'll bring this up, and then it's like your second favorite film or whatnot. Then it's Lee
Yeah,
Min, and then I've only had that poster for I don't know, maybe a month or something. That's a new
that's
addition. So
crazy. That's crazy.
right,
Flip for me, that is nuts. Oh my goodness.
you know,
Listen,
you know what, right?
I would, if, even if I just try to talk to that guy, I would try to talk to him, because bruv, he changed the whole good perspective for me for flips and martial arts and how to move. Like, oh man, yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, look, just hold fire, right? Because I can edit out all these gaps, but I'm gonna grab that photo.
Please,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, I'm gonna grab it. It'll take me a minute, and obviously I'm not looking at you a moment because I'm looking at the screen. But just give
Yeah.
me a minute, and I'll
All
grab
right,
it.
cool.
Right?
That's fine. I'm all for it.
Let's see.
This is crazy.
It really is, isn't it?
This is
I found
crazy.
it.
I don't even gonna lie to you. This is oof. This is giving me goosebumps. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's giving me goosebumps. And the fact that you're from
This.
South London as well, it's a bit mad. I can't lie. Can't
When
lie,
I
man.
saw
Fellow
it,
brother now.
yeah. So look, just as a refresher, I've shown you the poster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chess boxing poster with
Yeah.
the signature on it, right?
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
brilliant poster, isn't it? Amazing, right?
It is amazing poster.
That's the best, man. I've got to be careful I don't want to mash up. By the way, right, I might as well show you, seeing as it's right in my hands, I might as well show you the other one that he got for me here, which is
Oh,
Eagle's Claw, and it's signed there by Chen Kun Chun.
oh,
And that one does say 2023, so that's recent.
yeah.
But along with, hang on, mate, I've got to roll them up because I don't want to mash them up, right? So hang
Of
on,
course, of course, of course.
right? So he very kindly gifted me that, and then he sent me a shot of Lee Min
Oh,
signed.
wow, look at him now.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, mad.
and there he is signing
Chilling,
the posters. Yeah,
chilling.
yeah,
Man
and
looks
then
like man looks like the old man them where in the comfy movies, without the long hair. Mad.
yeah, he's gone from this to this.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I was like,
Yeah.
flip me. Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right? Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it really
That's
is.
nuts. Because I always wanted to know what he looks like now, and like, basically that's cold.
I mean, it's not the greatest shot, as in it's the top of his head and whatever. But I'm sure he's got others, but I don't know. Toby's he's such a lovely bloke because he's involved in all this stuff from a young age. He's been on the set of Dragon Lord and stuff with Jackie Chan and whatnot, and you know he's so giving with this stuff. He shares. You know what I'm saying? He don't just take it all for himself. If he knows you're into it and you love it, then he shares. So again, listen, thanks Toby for gifting me those posters.
Shout
And
out,
as you
man.
can
Shout out to
see,
Toby.
yeah, Toby the best. And we've passed that energy on, Toby. You see, because it's appreciated by Jordan as well. So yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
fantastic.
Amazing, amazing,
So there you go. Let's
amazing.
see if we can get you
That's
linked
actually
up with
made my
Leon Min.
evening still, because I was like, literally, what did he look like now? And I can see that's a wicked picture. Even though it's his head, I know man's got it. Man's still around.
Right? That's the important thing. And it looked like he had sleeves. It looked like he might have still been wearing a kung fu suit.
That's what I'm
He
trying
had
to
white.
say, man. I don't know if he's tumbling as much now, but he's chilling. He's chilling, plain sailing.
Oh yeah. What an opening note. Dan, ba-da-da-dun, dun,
Yeah,
Brannan, Brannan,
I'm
Dannan,
actually gonna watch it tonight.
Dan, da-da-da-dun, dun, dun,
Hey,
Brannan,
I'm
Brannan,
gonna watch
Brannan.
it. I'm
Brilliant.
going to watch the hopefully see because I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Oh,
And it's the
there you
sound
go.
effects as well. That's what got me, is the sound effects.
Oh, the sound effects in that are amazing. Yeah, Ghostface Killer. Psh, psh,
Yeah.
psh. Brilliant.
No, when he
Yes.
goes into splits, he does it, and then he goes into splits, holds the
Yes.
splits, and say, "Remember me?"
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Mark Long. He does that. But yeah, his forms in that are wicked. You know, he kind of does a form almost before every fight. He'll always do some shapes before it.
He does a
Bang, bang,
lot of,
bang.
and that's all a lot of hunger influence. A lot of hunger influence in that. A
Yeah.
big, big hunger influence in that.
Well, wait, five elements, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Well, do you recognize my technique? Five elements.
exactly, exactly.
You're right though about the sounds because the sound when he does that drops into that split.
Hi, ha, hey, yeah.
Is just
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, brilliant. Well, look, there's loads more things to go, right? But we have to leave it somewhere because I want to chat to you about your. I see you do helping people. You're talking about helping people. I've seen you doing physio and stuff. I still haven't finished talking about all the shorts you've done, all the
Mm,
teaching you've done. I love the fact that, I mean, I could totally tell when I watched your clips. You know, I watch a lot of this stuff, and when I watched my brother actually sent me the clip, one of your clips, and most of the time, he sends me these clips through of these short films. You know, between us, we're quite critical because we love the kung fu, we love the Hong Kong style. So, but it's between it's between us. Your one came through, and he never says nothing. He just sends it, and then I go back and go and tell him what I think. Yeah, it's good or it's not or whatever. And I went back and went, you know what? This one is this. There's something about this one. And he said, I agree. This one, the guy knows. And I went, yeah, you can tell. You can tell this guy
wow,
knows.
wow. I'm so humbled by that. I'm not gonna lie to you. That I thank you so much for that. That means a lot. I can't even lie.
Yeah, well, well,
That means a lot.
no worries. I mean, it's not, it's no real thing coming from me and my bro. But even so, it did shine through on it. Went, nah, this guy knows the Kungs, right? And so it doesn't surprise me when you said you've watched all this stuff, and I see where your influences are. So, but it's very interesting the stuff you say about your business influences, also from say the JC stunt team and what he's created there. So the whole thing is brilliant. But I haven't
Thank
finished
you.
really, but I am going to finish. But even video games, I know you said Tekken. I'm not a Tekken bloke. It's 3D. It's a little bit later. I'll probably mash you up on Street Fighter, though, I should think.
Yeah, you probably would. I'm not gonna lie.
You reckon?
You probably would. You know what? The another thing that was a big influence was Fist of the North Star. That was my first anime.
But,
That was my first anime.
yeah,
Mad Max fused with Bruce Lee. That was
right. The
that
face
was
is
my first.
exploding.
Imagine at 4 years old, my brother showing me that. Like at 4 or 5 years old, I'm like, come on now.
I'm pretty sure that was an 18 certificate.
It was an 80 certificate, extremely violent. I'm like, but I'm watching them like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it came out back in the days on the Manga video label, didn't it? There was a video label called Manga, and Fist of the
Manga.
North Star
Oh
came
my
out on
goodness.
VHS. Yeah. Do you remember the
Those
trailer
days,
for
man.
that manga?
Yeah,
On the
yeah, yeah.
VHSs, they used to have trailers for the cartoons, and they used to use a song. It went like this: dan 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 dan,
Oh my
bam
days.
bam,
Oh my
ugh,
god.
dan 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 dan.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? This is old VH. Oh my goodness! Wow.
That was the trailer music on the VHSs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
that's the
remember
band. They
that.
used a track from a band called Celtic Frost. Yeah, but yeah,
Wow, this is
brilliant.
good. Bro, anytime you want me to come on again, we could talk for more. You know.
I'd love it, mate. I'd love it. So, listen. Like I said, at some point I have to end it because I won't. So I'm going to let you go.
All
Right?
right then, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, listen. Um, Again, what did I say earlier about we were talking about um, 3D currencies and stuff like that and what they mean and I said to you earlier that this creates things that wouldn't happen
Mm,
without me doing this. I wouldn't be sitting here. Look, maybe at some point I'd bump into you and we'd chat. It is obviously possible, but
yeah.
for now the reason it's happened is because I do this channel and I found you because you're going to Fighting Spirit and I've seen you on Instagram and whatnot, and we're chatting. And as we've mentioned earlier, it don't always have to be a financial thing. This stuff to me is priceless. I've absolutely loved the chat. I'm really
Yeah.
glad that I've met you, that I've asked you on and met you, and I had the guts to do it. Because honestly, sometimes I look at these things and I go, he might not want to come on, but I don't know. He might. If you do look, obviously, tell people now. You can have a look on the channel. I've got to warn you. Have a look at the channel, but that might put people off. But never put
Mm.
you off. You said, yeah, you're sitting here now, and I appreciate that. So listen, thanks
No,
very much. 'Cause
thank
it
you.
wouldn't
Thank you
happen
for
if,
having me. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Like literally, it was a great. Yeah. And now I'm gonna go and watch some kung fu now. Like that's how deep it is.
well, you know, no better thing to do with your evening than watch some kung fu, man. So,
100%. 100%.
uh,
100%. Yes. Yes.
but
Yes.
again,
Yes.
honestly, fantastic to meet you.
Same
I've
to
loved,
you.
yeah, I've loved it, man. So, with that said,
Take care, Steve. We'll
yeah,
speak. We'll
take it
speak soon.
easy.
All right.
Yeah, see you later. Take it
God
easy,
bless.
mate.
Take care.
Thanks a
Ciao.
lot. See ya.
God
Bye.
bless.